Camera is on.
Welcome to Knights at the Round Table, a round table discussion on speculative fiction books and film. Hi everybody and welcome to Knights at the Round Table. Today we are discussing the 1964 musical Mary Poppins. I'm sitting here at the table with my friends Bill and Eric, and I'd like to start with general impressions of the film, and because Bill hasn't been here for a bit, it's Bill's turn to go first.
Put me on the spot.
Yes, I will.
General impressions? I've enjoyed this movie since I was, yay high. It's always fun watching these types of movies, in my opinion. Dick Van Dyke's always pretty good to watch. And, of course, the classical Julie Andrews, just a lovely woman to watch sing and dance.
Yeah. Eric?
On the opposite side of the spectrum, as a kid, I hated this movie with loathing passion. And rewatching it, most of the stuff I didn't like is still in there, but I can forgive it for the amazing music and acting.
I'm sort of I'm ambivalent about this film. I loved it when I was a kid, watched it often. Now as an adult, I'm like, this is kind of trippy. Also, what's with that accent? That's not Cockney. But those are really my biggest complaints. I'm like, it's a little trippy, and that's not Cockney.
It's Hollywood Cockney.
It's Hollywood Cockney. If that's the worst thing you can say about a movie, it's a pretty decent movie, I think. So what didn't you like? I'm curious about this, because I've never heard anyone say they didn't like Mary Poppins.
As a kid, the reason I really hated it was the condescension. Every single character in the movie is a moron, except for Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. We'll go there. The kids are a little bit smarter than the rest of the characters. Teeny tiny bit. But they are still treated like morons by everyone, including Mary Poppins, who emotionally and verbally manipulates them at every single turn. At some points, even cruel.
I did not notice that. Like when?
The first night after they did all the yay stuff, they're like, we did this and this. And she's like, no, we didn't. I would remember doing that. I would never get in a horse race. You don't know what you're talking about. Yes, I do. We did this. No, we didn't. Now go to bed. And reverse psychology song.
Oh,
there was
fair
no
enough.
Twinkle in her eye. There was no, no, we didn't. It was, no, we didn't. You're stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. And she's also teaching them terrible habits. Magic will fix everything. Medicine should taste good. Magic should fix everything. And she's a spoil sport.
She's a spoiled sport.
At the laughter thing?
Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah.
She's grumpy the whole time. She literally does nothing but manipulate everybody and screw it up. If it wasn't for Dick Van Dyke's character, nothing good would have come out of this. She's basically a trickster god who thinks she knows what she's doing.
I get that she's basically a trickster god.
But if it wasn't for Dick Van Dyke giving the speech to the father, finding the kids, she basically makes them feel horrible and like it's really important to give money to this pigeon lady, and then isn't there to clean up her own mess when the kids run away into downtown London in 1910. Do you know what downtown London was like in 1910?
No, it's a bit before my time.
Horrifying! If the smog didn't kill them, then the chimney sweeps should have. Let's not talk about the fact that chimney sweeps were mostly kids who died early of lung cancer.
Yeah. Consumption.
But that's Disney. No, it's just I don't like her at all. Dick Van Dyke, however, I love that kind of trickster god. I'm just a poor little southern or whatever Cockney boy who doesn't know anything. Oh, hey, have you thought maybe your kids or maybe your dad doesn't feel this way? Or he makes them see things while she makes them do things. If that makes sense?
Yeah.
So,
okay, I'd never noticed that before. That's not something that entered my consciousness.
As a kid, I really disliked adults who tried to manipulate me. And most of the adults I was around, I'm really sorry if you knew me as a kid, weren't that smart. Or at least they weren't as smart as the precocious little boy who was reading fantasy novels in grade 1. So saying things like, oh, well, you know, if you want a nice house, you need to save your pennies, made me like fly off the handle and yell at people. I had a nasty temper.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, so did I. As my bedroom wall would.
Now, after all that complaining about the movie, Julie Andrews, the physical and vocal and acting stuff she does in this is... watching it last night, I was like, that is amazing. This was close to the beginning of her career. She had done mostly Broadway, and absolutely fantastic.
She is.
Those songs are nearly unsingable by some people.
Yeah.
And Dick Van Dyke's... He said multiple times in an interview that it was the best movie he was ever in, and that they should have never put him in it. He said he was terribly miscast, and they should have got someone who was actually funny. And I'm like, but he was the best part of the movie.
I did like his character a lot.
His character is everything I like in trickster gods. Because that's basically what they seem to be.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the music. Beautiful.
Yeah, the music. I have to agree that the acting was spectacular. Yeah. I've never even thought about it that way. Not ever. I have no rebuttal because, actually, now that I think about it, it's kind of true.
I also don't like the way they treat the mom. Oh, she's not taking care of her kids because she's out trying to get the vote. Oh, that silly feminist.
Oh, yes.
Yep. I mean, they don't treat the military guy any better, but... Everyone's a moron in this movie, and I really hate that. Except for the two gods.
Time lords. Yeah, time lords.
Yeah,
tricksters.
Tricksters, yeah.
Imps.
I'd much rather like to see a prequel where Dick Van Dyke's character and Julie Andrews meet. How they met.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, because you do get the sense that they're quite good friends.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that he's madly in love with her.
I did not get that.
I did that.
Really?
He sings it. He literally says, "That's why I love you."
Oh,
that was the penguin scene.
One of the trippiest scenes in the...
All of the...
What kind of acid were you people on when you came up with this?
All of the other characters in the movie played the animated characters. So the penguin waiter was the dad, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And
I think that was done by purpose too.
Yeah. Cheaper.
Yeah. Well, besides being cheaper, but I think it was intended from a
little bit of
character
Wizard of Oz type.
Yeah.
There's a wild dragon upstairs.
Yes.
we apologize for the
noise, for the weird roaring that's happening.
Yeah, but in that sort of animation scene that was there, I thought it was the attention to the detail in there was quite interesting because when they were riding around on those merry-go-round horses, every once in a while when the horse was on its downstroke,
it would hit the ground.
It would hit the ground and push up dirt and everything else.
Yeah.
I thought, given the day and age of that time, that was quite expensive, actually.
Yeah, they did a lot of work on it. Yeah. The author hated it. That scene specifically, she said it's an abomination, nothing to do with my characters.
Well, I remember reading, and this is quite a while ago, but there was a movie quite a bit more recently where it was played with...
Saving Mr. Banks with Tom Hanks, no?
No. It was played with, oh God, Mr. Darcy, what's his name?
You're gonna have to be more specific. There's like 8 of them.
The original, no, from the BBC,
original.
From the BBC miniseries. Oh my God, he also played the exact same character in.
Or go on with what you're trying to explain.
Anyway, the point is, in this movie, it was based more closely to the book of Mary Poppins, and the idea was when the nanny came in, she was this hideously ugly
Nanny McPhee.
Nanny McPhee.
Wasn't that a separate series of books?
I remember, but that's what I thought. But I remember watching an interview where they were talking about it.
You look at it; it is Mary Poppins, just under a different name.
Yeah, okay. It was basically
slightly different theme.
Yeah, but
I remember reading that in the book. She's mean.
Yeah,
like she's downright mean.
Yeah. That's the same idea. But as the kids get to know her, she becomes
played
more
by
and more
Emma Thompson, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know Darcy McGee's Mr. Darcy's character.
God,
the actor.
All of my comfort. There you go. Thank you.
Yep, thank you.
My brain isn't functioning today.
I've seen all of the Pride and Prejudice. It's just actors' names.
Yeah.
No, that's not true. I haven't seen Zombies.
Oh, I haven't seen that one yet
Me
either.
too.
That should go in the bowl.
I think it is.
Pride and Prejudice and Zombies.
Yeah, I think it is.
The book is.
Oh.
I don't know that the movie is.
Is the movie out?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Last year? I
Yeah.
just got a memory on Facebook saying that I shared the trailer
Oh,
last
okay.
year. So back to this. Yeah, I can see where the entire story might make more sense if she was really mean. And she was purposely trying to... I do keep wondering, what is so special about this family and either their future or their past that has them attracting a god or two. I mean, I think Van Dyke was just there for Mary Poppins to clean up her mess. But why? Why were they special? What was it
Did
about
one of the
this?
kids make a wish?
They made a wish on a piece of paper.
And yeah, and it got burned.
Yeah,
And then it
well,
went
it got thrown into a fireplace.
Yes.
No
that
burn.
hadn't been on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
And then
But
got-
again, and then it flew out. But what
That was the wish.
What was the reason?
That would
They
be
made a
about,
wish.
That'd be about the only thing I could come up with.
Yeah, they made a wish.
Meh. No, I'm sure one of them becomes
Why
prime
does a
minister
fairy-
or stops a world war or something.
Why does a fairy godmother show up? Somebody makes a wish.
Yeah. I guess it's the difference is I don't see Mary Poppins necessarily as benevolent.
Well, I mean, fairies are not.
Well, okay,
generally-
but when you say fairy godmother, normally the wishes aren't traditional, are they? Is that a... I thought you had to trap a fairy normally to get a wish in tradition.
It depends. Yes, yeah. But
So-
sometimes some fairies will just be like,
To mess
"This
with
baby
you.
is lovely. I shall bestow a gift," and becomes the fairy godmother. But then all those gifts, usually if they're not Disneyfied, are a double-bladed
Oh,
sword,
of course.
right? Double-edged sword.
It's Shannon Maguire that often says on her Tumblr, do not attract the attention of fairies.
No,
You'll become an equivalent mass of spiders.
That's great.
Yeah.
So, what thing stuck out for you, Bill?
Give me a bit, man. Like Eric's thoughts on this have sort of gone into my head now.
I
So
know, right?
It's like,
Sorry.
No, don't apologize. It's a really interesting perspective. I never would have thought of that on my own.
no.
Didn't even register because I think maybe because I grew up watching the movie quite a lot. It was in our
I think I
regular
might have seen
stable.
it twice. Once when I was 5, once when I was 10.
Oh, it's got to be in the 50s for me.
Yeah, I know there was like
3 times now.
some subtle messaging that stuck out a little bit through this watching. The thing with the women's rights, and in a way there was a massive thing on gender roles and that. Very subtle, probably because at that time the medium Leslie wasn't looking at those type of messaging for that.
I read I read all of IMDb's
Yeah.
interesting
Didn't even look at
facts.
that.
And apparently they didn't know how to make the mother inattentive. So the director said, well, just make her a suffragette. I mean, they're all
Yeah.
useless. So,
Yeah. So
and it was second wave feminism in the 50s when this came out. And so it was, yeah, it was a, yeah. Let's just go there.
It was a thing.
Yeah.
yeah, there was also the interesting thing on family values.
Yes.
Yeah, the father's inattentive or neglectful even.
Yeah.
Mother was sort of inattentive, but maybe not necessarily neglectful, just
Yeah.
inattentive to the children's. And then, of course, there's the little messaging on the capitalism in the bank scenes and so forth. And,
Yeah.
and,
Which is funny.
And
anti-cap-
also like kind of a worker's warning, right? You're never ever entirely redundant. It doesn't matter, because the whole point, I think, for this movie for me was the father abandoned his family basically to try and get his career underway, and then something as benign as a child wanting to give a tuppence to a bird lady ended it because his bank didn't care about him, even though he had given basically his entire life to this bank. And so there was a message there, I think.
Yeah.
Give your life away to your employer.
I mean, there
They
was
don't
also
care.
unionist.
Oh,
movement
yeah,
there,
yeah.
with the quote from Dick Van Dyke as the old man. If you give a tuppence for bread, all you'll get is a fat pigeon. which I think is a misquote of something for
right, too.
orphans or poor people. Well, if you feed the poor, they're just going to be fat.
Yeah, I forgot Dick Van Dyke played that character as well.
Oh, yeah. I saw that and I was like, that's funny. And then it's like, do you know who that is? I'm like, yes, there's no one else who can do that physicality other than maybe the guy from the court jester.
Oh, the one that you made me watch?
Yes.
Oh, that's
What's his
Screw
name?
in the Bowl. Yeah, that dude.
He can pull it off too, but...
Yeah, he could. That was a very funny movie, The Court
Yeah.
Jester.
So, yeah, there's a lot of little quotes that I'm like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they go around and glorify being like a soot worker and just child labor and pollution. You should have known better when this movie came out. It had been... when did the movie come out?
64.
64.
It had been less than 10 years since the Great Fog of London,
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
the-
but
which
don't
killed
the smog.
like 10,000 people died.
Yeah.
They should know better than being like, isn't that beautiful? And then you've got like a really nice drawn canvas of London with smoke. And I'm like, yeah.
Who are you, Malcolm Turnbull? Ooh, Australian political joke. Sorry. Blank stares. Never mind.
Yeah, I know. He's sort of Harper Trump.
Yeah, but instead of oil, it's coal.
Yeah,
Oh, he's a
Trump.
I won't
Yes.
talk politics.
Smog laws exist for a reason.
Yeah.
But back in 1910, they didn't.
They didn't in 1910. But, I mean, there's a lot of things that didn't exist in 1910 that they did. And not least of all, putting her in purple and him in blue, which wasn't a thing until World War II. She should have been in blue and he should have been in pink.
Wait, was it World War II that
Right
switched?
before World War II that it
Oh,
started
I thought
switching.
that was. Oh, I thought it was a bit earlier.
It was
but
one of the
yeah.
wars. I think it was World War II.
Oh, I thought it was a bit earlier than that. Because yeah, traditionally pink was the color for boys, and
Yes,
blue was the
because
color for
blue was
girls.
calming and pink was of red and therefore
Mas-
anger and masculinity.
Yeah. Pink is basically a diminutive red, so like
Yeah.
a diminutive man would be wearing pink.
Okay, I didn't know that.
You learned something new.
I guess my day was not a waste. I can go now.
I need like the more you know star wipe. Ding, 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 ding.
One thing that I really appreciated about the movie is the scene with the laughter. The Mad Hatter from Alice playing the uncle, I guess.
Yeah.
All the jokes in that were not only clean, they were not offensive in any way. They managed to have a joke about a wooden leg without being
What's the
offensive
name of
at
his
all.
other leg?
And if you look around in Disneyland, there's a picture window at one point with a leg that says Smith on it.
I once met a man with a little
Yes.
thing. So,
Actually-
what's the name of his other leg?
It was an interesting thing, though. Just before they walked into that room, that Dick Van Dyke's character Bert sort of said, "Yes, be careful, it's contagious." Right? She said, "Don't worry about it." Walks right in. Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she was ineffective.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't know, she has no heart? Question mark.
Because
That
apparently
laughing
being
scene.
practically perfect means you're cold,
Oh well.
which has a whole other...
I think I really like the laughing scene because I have been in hysterical laughter
Yeah.
where you can't do anything but roll around on the floor and
And
laugh
it's
until you cry.
wonderful. And
It
that
is
scene
great.
actually made me laugh
Yeah.
without making me cringe.
Yeah, it was great. The uncle's laughter is really contagious.
Oh, yeah.
Like really infectious.
I was trying to not laugh.
Right?
I had the subtitles on, so I didn't mind. I could laugh and still read. The subtitles on the Blu-ray are horrendous. They keep trying to translate the Britishisms to Americanisms, and they take out words and they move things around. You get the gist of it, but it's not the right words.
Oh, jeez, the Britishism's a part of what makes this movie,
It
though.
is, actually.
Yeah, it
And
really is.
the really odd accents. Portrayed by American.
The American trying to do British. This is why all our superheroes are British being American. And not the other way
Because they can do
around.
the accent better.
Um,
I'm trying to think of the...
And I was thinking there, sort of, in that park that they kept going in and out of. Right? That looks familiar. I think that was Green Park. I think I've been there.
Oh, yeah!
Yeah,
Cool.
I think it was Green Park. I'm not positive, but I'd have to look that more into. But I'm pretty sure that was Green Park.
cool.
That is cool.
At the intro, this, again, weird, interesting fact. At the intro with Dick Van Dyke doing the one-man band thing, which was hilarious, if out of tune. Every person he rhymes at is a character from one of the Mary Poppins books.
Oh, I did not know. I haven't read the Mary Poppins books.
Neither did I, but I read the trivia.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really interesting. I love that introduction of him with the, ha ha ha, I'm a fool. And then he stops, gives like a perfectly rhymed soliloquy, almost Cassandra-like. Oh, something's coming. I kept expecting him to break into Something Wicked This Way Comes. I guess Bradbury had it copyrighted at the time.
Yeah, so certainly a slow lead up into the main story compared to today's movies where they're right into the story almost.
Yeah, he also broke the fourth wall.
Oh,
and never did it again. Like, he never winked at the camera like, hey, know what I'm doing? I kept expecting it. Or for her to be like, just move along.
He did it once again later on in the movie, I think.
Did he?
I think very briefly. Or was it shortly after that scene? I don't remember.
It was definitely after that scene he did it again.
Yeah. But I don't remember exactly when that was. So.
Okay.
I have to say, I love the music. It stuck with me. Like, every so often, even when I'm just sort of cleaning the house, I'll start singing songs from Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
The Tuppence a Bag song.
God, that's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Jen sings the lullaby. Don't go to sleep to Galadriel every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking of me in midlife,
Yeah.
Hoping the reverse psychology works.
It won't.
It won't.
Not on her.
No.
But yeah, actually, I also often get this parts of this movie confused with Bed Knobs and Broomsticks because Dick Van Dyke's in it again.
Such a good movie.
Yeah. But like the
See, I don't like it nearly as much as I like Mary Poppins.
Really? I preferred it.
Yeah.
But the
again,
Chimney
I've
Sweep
seen-
one I always thought was part of that other movie, not this one.
Which one?
Bed Knobs and Broomsticks.
No, but which?
The Chimney Sweep scene.
Okay.
The first time I saw Bed Knobs and Broomsticks was like 2 years ago, so
Oh,
I have a very different perspective.
The first time I saw it was when I was a little
But
kid,
yeah,
but
when
I
I
didn't
was
watch it again.
younger, I thought maybe that Bed Knobs and Broomsticks was the same thing. I didn't know. Yeah. So I avoided them both as a kid because,
Because
I don't want to be condescended to. Give me Arthur C. Clarke.
That's a lot of. There's a lot of validity behind that. That's a reason why I don't read a lot of books, because often I feel like the writers are being condescending.
It's not as bad watching it as an adult because I actually look and see that everyone is being condescended to, including at times Mary Poppins. Because Dick Van Dyke's character just seems to be ahead of everyone by 2 steps. I don't know if it's written that way or just the way he portrays it.
He's like the original Captain Jack from the original Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
Better. I think of him more like, I don't know, a good Loki.
A good Loki.
Like the Doctor from Doctor Who. Sort of that kind of trickster.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I always find, when I was watching that movie, I always laughed at the interaction between Mary Poppins and Mr. Banks, where he thinks he's going to go do something, and she just sort of turns it around on him. Makes it seem like it was his idea in the first place, like hiring her,
like hiring her or taking his kids to the bank. Or,
I mean, to be fair,
he's really easy to do. But...
Yeah, and also sometimes you just gotta, if you want to get things done, you gotta make it seem like it's their idea.
Yeah.
But she was trying to, I think, at the same time, teach him a.
Oh yeah, she was trying to teach lessons with everything. Yeah. Either be like, don't let people make you think you don't know what you do know. Be kind to others and that sort of stuff. But, totally random fact, which I really like. The kids weren't told about some of the visual gags. So the medicine being different colors. The girl goes, ah! That's totally genuine. She had no idea that was going to happen.
Oh.
They rigged the pole, like the hat thing, to come out without the kids knowing. So when she started pulling it out, they were like, what? So it's a bunch of stuff like that. They were completely surprised.
Oh, this is why I should read the trivia more. That's actually really fascinating.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
I was actually reading the what are the blunders that everybody always observes these blunders and stuff.
Yeah.
But
there was just too much trivia. I got halfway through and I was like, okay, I'm going to bed. So there might be some really interesting trivia that I don't know.
Yeah.
The Blu-ray has something interesting. It's called Karaoke. So it replays the scenes in a karaoke mode.
Now I know how to annoy my neighbors who are hanging pictures at midnight.
Your roommate would be totally into that.
Oh, she would. Yep. I guess I just won't play Russian music anymore. No Russian metal. I'll just start singing Mary Poppins tunes.
A spoonful of medicine. Oh, covers and like
in metal would
be
actually
awesome.
be really funny.
Get on that, internet. If you have some videos, put them in the comments below. I'll be happy to watch.
You know who would do that? Is Frog Leap Studios. The guy from Frog Leap... Words.
Use your words, Sonia.
Frog Leap Studios. He's a Norwegian dude who's done a bunch of covers in metal. He got on my radar when he did an Adele song in metal, and it was beautiful. It was
Did
really
he do a
well
bunch
done.
of classical stuff too? No?
No. Usually
Different-
sort of more modern songs.
Different Norwegian guy. Okay.
But maybe. I mean, metal's pretty big in Scandinavia, so... Yeah. Off topic.
Yes, sorry.
A little bit, but hey.
Anything else in your notes?
No, I had a couple of, I guess, sequel pieces here. Which
yeah.
one you mentioned is actually more of a short.
Yes.
In 2014 called Mary Poppins Quits.
Yeah.
That one threw me off a little bit. I thought it was actual sequel, but
Yeah.
was kind of, why would she quit? She already left.
Yeah. No, it was a Mary Poppins Quits because it's I guess the best description would be a spoof for minimum wage.
Oh, yeah.
Kristen Bell plays Mary Poppins and is like, I need a living wage, and sings through it, and then at the end is like, screw this, I'm not getting paid enough, and leaves.
Yeah.
And then the other one, I guess, is coming out sometime next year, is Mary Poppins Returns. Mary's played by Emily Blunt. And then we have, apparently this is a growing Jane and Michael. Michael has 3 kids, and some sort of tragedy happens, and she returns following the tragedy. So I don't know what that's going to be like.
Oh, that sounds interesting, actually.
Yeah.
We'll have to just keep our eyes out on that.
I'll probably go see it.
It's also fairly...
It's a Disney movie, and my wife and
we don't know.
mother-in-law love them. So
Oh,
Is it
okay.
a Disney movie? I don't know.
yes,
Oh, is it?
it's
Okay,
a
I didn't
Disney
know that.
property.
I missed
Disney
that
owns the property. It's
Yeah.
directed and overseen by Disney. So
Which might be the reason why they went to Nanny McPhee as opposed to Mary Poppins.
When
Yeah.
when they did it.
because that was not Disney.
No,
No.
but it was a good story.
It was
Oh,
a great
no,
story. I
yeah.
loved it.
Disney does not mean it's the only good thing. There are plenty of non-good Disney versions.
It's funny how the theme sort of pops up from time to time now, eh? You know, not necessarily in the Mary Poppins sort of theme, but sometimes you have the nanny shows up and needs a fine-tuning by the kids.
Yeah. Well, and the inattentive parents who spend more time on their job is something that Disney has worked to death, from Mary Poppins to Hook.
Yeah.
To Jumanji.
Hook. That should be in the bowl.
It should.
It's not.
No, it's not.
Robin Williams was awesome in that, but it was still really annoying. I'm too busy for my kids. I don't know. I never got it. If I could quit, I would spend all my time with my kid.
Yeah, right? But that's because of you. I know plenty of parents who'd be like, if I could hire a nanny, I would see my kids at dinner. Kind of.
Why would you want kids?
I don't know!
Why would you not want kids in order to watch them fan out about everything?
So, final thoughts and star rating, Eric.
I still really don't like a lot of the messages or the tone or the writing in this movie. I'm probably not going to rewatch it unless Kaladri forces me to, or Jen. However, the music and the art, the background art for
Oh god, yeah.
so a perfect classic Disney. And also, I mean, Dick Van Dyke was fantastic. I give it a 2.5. It's not bad. It's not great. It's definitely more watchable than other movies that I've ranted about.
Bill?
Well, obviously I've liked this movie for a while. Eric's opinion now gives me cause to watch it again with maybe a slightly different perspective lens on it, just to see and so forth. But I never grew up with Eric's background, which may have meant that I never saw it in that manner. Mm-hmm. But it's still probably going to be one of my favorites. The music, and Dick Van Dyke and Julie Andrews are top of my list for
two of the best actors of their generation.
Yeah, and even they're still acting. Believe it or not, which is amazing. So my probably is about 3 to 3.5. in that area.
Okay, so yeah, I'm sitting at about 3 for the same reason. I grew up watching this movie, so I'm sure nostalgia has a fair amount to do with it. But honestly, my biggest problems were that acid trip of a scene with the dancing penguins and the Cockney accent, which wasn't a Cockney accent. But I don't know, I really liked the movie. As a kid, the songs were really capturing. I really, really enjoyed Dick Van Dyke's character. It's true, he was...
Bert. That's his name. Bert.
Yeah. He was the best character in there, I think. And as an adult, before I heard Eric,
I'm ruining it for everyone.
I still really love the music. I still really love Bert. But I was ambivalent about the rest. So it wasn't spectacular. It wasn't terrible. So yeah, I'm sitting at about a 3 for this one. So what do you guys think? If you have any thoughts about Mary Poppins, do leave them in the comments down below. Also, if you have any movies you would like us to review, leave those in the comments down below and they'll make their way into the bowl. And don't forget... Oh, wait. To pick the next one.
Also, remember with your comments that a spoonful of sugar helps the comments go down. Wonder Woman!
Yay!
2018? 17?
17.
16? I don't know, when are we?
17.
17, okay.
Yay! Good. I really liked this movie. Although I will maintain that it wouldn't have been such a brilliant movie if regular female-led movies were well done in general.
I think the actress and the character would still be one of the best, even if there was a whole lot of amazing, because she's so good.
Save that one for next time.
Well, guys, okay.
I won't be there.
No.
Oh.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Is she blurry?
How much ramen have you had this morning?